All right, you ready for your next comic? Put your hands together for Mike Bogdanski, everybody!
What a gift having Scott Higgins bring comedy to Northeast Connecticut. Isn't he great, guys? Thank you. What a nice guy. Hey, you know, after 35 years, I retired from teaching karate in the gym, and so my wife and I have lots of leisure time, so we're really excited about doing lots of vacations. So we have this new technique I want to share with you. We put a big map of the U.S. up. We take a dart, we close our eyes, and we let that dart fly, and that's how we pick it. Next 2 weeks, we're going to be vacationing behind the refrigerator. I want to recognize our hosts, Taylor and Jen, for tonight. And Taylor's a newlywed. Isn't that fantastic? She finally found a nice guy. She's been on a lot of first dates. I said, tell me the horror story. Tell me one bad date. She goes, I met a nice guy, handsome, charming, friendly, had a sports car. He said, I'm going to take you horseback riding. I said, well, that sounds great. I said, what's the problem? She goes, it was really great until we ran out of quarters. Well, Jen's one of the hardest workers I ever met. She works all day at Chase Graphics. Then she does her Generate promotion business. She has a husband, 3 beautiful girls. The woman's outstanding. I can't pat her on the back enough. I always praise her when I see her at Chase. Yeah, give her a hand, because she worked hard. They both worked hard for this event. But Jen, I know you're a great wife, you're a great mom, you're a great worker, but your husband had some complaints, and I wanted to share that with you. So he says, I used to go out for dinner, I used to all these things. He goes, you're tired now from all your working. He says, at least one morning, couldn't you make me a hot breakfast? She leaned over, whispered in his ear, said, honey, if you want a hot breakfast, throw a match in your cereal. Eric Gould from Savage Systems here. A lot of you guys might not have known, but I've promoted over 300 people to black belt. He's a 3rd-degree black belt. He trained with me for over 10 years. Really good black belt. And I took him once to a big tournament in Boston. I set him up with one of the top competitors. I said, get out here. You've been training. You're ready. He gets in the ring. He throws a left cross. He throws a red cross. Then I had to call the red cross. My wife and I have several grandchildren. They're very impish. And the little one said to me the other day, Grampy, did you know you were bald? I said, I never noticed. Maybe you could find me some hair someplace. When I had owned the bank building downtown where the complex is now, we had a hair salon there. And one of the benefits of renting the salon was I got free haircuts. So after a week, I'd go in and get a haircut. Next week, get a haircut. My hair started to get thin. So then I went every 2 weeks. Then after a few more months, every 3 weeks. The last time I sat in that chair, the hairdresser said to me, I said, give me one more haircut. She looked at my head and said, which one? I know Sheila Frost is here tonight with her friends. Where's Sheila? There you are. Sheila and James Frost own the Courthouse Bar and Grill, one of the most fantastic restaurants in downtown Putnam. Yeah, we love it. We love it. So I want to let you know that James Frost is my very first black belt. That's his claim to fame. He started with me when he was 11 years old and stayed and was the very first person I ever awarded a black belt to. And he brags about it too. Well, now they had so much success because we know starting out it was tough. But they've had a lot of success there, and so now they get a chance to travel, go on vacations. And James is not here tonight. He's on a pleasure trip. He's bringing his mother-in-law to the airport. I can't see where you're sitting, but I saw on the guest list that the chief of police was here tonight with his wife, Chief Faraci. Hope he's here someplace. Well, he's a nice guy. He sat next to us at dinner. I saw him get the menu out and try to impress his wife. He ordered the whole dinner in French. Fluent. We were at Nikki's Doghouse. A lot of you guys may have seen me. I'm driving my 79 Corvette I bought brand new. And my father told me, he said, that's an $11,000 car. Are you crazy? You can buy a car for $8,000. Well, now I've been driving that car for over 40 plus years. I just love it. It's a pleasure to drive. The first week I got it, I never had been in a Corvette. I got in the car, I'm driving cautiously, taking my time. The second week I go, I got it. 2 speeding tickets. One on a Tuesday, one on a Thursday. Same spot, Maple Street in Danielson. Well, the third week I go, I got it solved now. 1 parking ticket, week 3. So one day, so decades go by, and I'm talking to my friend Matt Dizzonia from Girardi Insurance, who's one of our sponsors tonight. Thank you, Girardi. So my car now is about 25 years old, and I'm paying. So when they don't tell you when you get a speeding ticket, besides the fine, they triple your insurance. So I went from paying $2,000 a year to paying $6,000 a year. And after 3 years, if you don't have any tickets, it goes back to regular price. So after like 25 years, I'm talking to Matt one night. I said, Matt, this insurance is getting so expensive. He goes, isn't it nice that you have a collector car? Anything over 20 years, you pay $200 a year. I made a face. I said, what? He goes, well, my old insurance agent didn't say that to me. And the next day, I changed over to Girardi. And Matt, thank you for that. But Matt, I've been to the office so many times. We got our health insurance, our car insurance, our homeowner's insurance. And I keep wondering, who's this guy Girardi and when's he going to show up for work? I already talked to Taylor and to Jen about having another show. Don't you think we're ready for another one after this? I want to nominate a comic. I want to nominate Karen Osprey. Karen, she has a really sharp wit. She's really funny. I asked her one day, I said, how'd you pick Gary? Good question, right? How did you pick your soulmate? She said to me, it was easy. When I first met him, he was wearing an earring. I said, well, what's that prove? She goes, oh, it's easy. Men that wear earrings are perfectly prepared for marriage. They've experienced pain and bought jewelry. Then, of course, I have to ask Gary the same question. I go, Gary, how'd you know Karen was the one? He goes, I knew the second I met her, she was Miss Right. Didn't know her first name was Always. Well, Gary had a Corvette for years, too. We used to always see each other wave on the road. And he says one day he's going to visit his family in Rhode Island. Comes up to a yellow light, speeds through it. One of those traffic cams snaps his plate and the red light. A week later, he gets a picture of his license plate and a ticket for $200. So Gary's a wise guy. He's a smart aleck. He takes a picture of $200 bills and sends it back. The following week, he gets a police department letter, a picture of handcuffs. One Sunday, Karen never usually drove the Corvette. It was Gary's baby. So she says, I got to run down to the station. I'll be back in 15 minutes. And he says, oh, begrudgingly, okay, be careful. So a half hour goes by, no Karen. An hour goes by, no Karen. He calls her up and he goes, hey, sweetie, what's the problem? I thought you were coming right back. He goes, I can't start the car. Gary says, what's the problem? She goes, I think there's water in the carburetor. He says, I'll be right down to fix it. Where's the car parked? She goes, in the river behind the station. My wife and I started to watch the Julia Child special series with all our cooking, so we've been experimenting with a lot of different cuisines. And so I love Karen. We love your afternoon show with recipes. And often she cooks with wine. Sometimes she even adds it to the food. I see my friend Barbara Chubbuck here tonight. Everybody knows Barbara, right? Hey, Barbara, I got a special question to ask you. It's a farm question. You got a big farm up there. Have you ever smelled mothballs? You smelled mothballs before? Who held the wings apart for you? It's been an honor and a pleasure to be here tonight, everybody. Thank you.